All right, guys, what's happening? What's happening? Good morning and happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, January 19th, 2022. This morning, we're going to talk a little bit about preparation. What is it like to prepare? I've got a big event. We've got a big event coming up this weekend in Marco Island, Florida for Top Contractor School. So we've got basically 2 full days of education, of delivering information to people to improve their businesses, improve their lives, improve their relationships, friendships, everything. So how do you prepare for that? I'm going to talk to you guys about exactly how I prepare for that and how that has evolved over the years. That's what we're going to talk about this morning. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, guys, what's happening? Happy Wednesday to you, man. I hope you guys are having an awesome morning. I certainly am. I got everything packed up. I'm headed to the airport as soon as I am done here with you guys this morning. Headed down to Marco Island. So flying into Fort Myers, picking up a car and headed down to the hotel. For those of you who might be in that area or on the west coast of Florida, me and 70 of my closest friends will be hanging out at the JW Marriott in Marco Island, Florida. We've got the winter 2022 Top Contractor School Inner Circle Retreat. And man, it's going to be a banging weekend. I'm extremely excited as well, Mr. Daniel Good. I can't wait to see you, brother, and spend some time with you. And man, there's just so many people that will be meeting us there that are just incredible individuals. And I can't wait to spend. This is like a highlight weekend of the whole year, right? Every time we get together as a group, every time this group of people gets together, and whether it's at a trade show that we go to or one of our own events that we do, it is always special to be able to see everybody in person. And man, I just can't wait to get there. I can't wait to get settled in. I'll be there this evening, checking into the hotel and getting last minute preparations done, just kind of walking through everything. We've got a full day of education on Saturday, pretty close to a full day of education on Sunday. And so just putting the final touches on that. So I wanted to talk to you guys this morning about the best way to prepare. What is the best way to prepare for something like this? It's a lot of information that we have to deliver. People's businesses require a lot of information to run. And so our job as an educational company is to deliver that content, to deliver that information in a way that is very intentional, very organized, where it makes sense, where people can build upon one piece of information to the next. So it has to be in the right order. So there's a lot that goes into that. But I wanted to talk to you guys this morning about exactly how I prepare for this show, how I prepare for an event like this. It's always a little bit different, but there's a foundational piece of exactly how I do this. And it's very simple these days. It wasn't always like that. So I'll walk you through if you're not, comfortable doing it the way that I am doing it today, how you can do it the way that I started doing it and then evolve into kind of the way that I do it now. So before I do that, I want to say good morning to some folks, as always. Daniel Good, my brother from another mother. Good morning to you. Scott Rhodes, what's happening, man? Gary, John, Trisha, Tammy, David Martin, Dayton Packard, Jared Bird, Tony Grout, Christina, Bob, and Cynthia. Good morning, guys. Man, there's a bunch of people on this stream that I'll be seeing in a few days in the beautiful beaches of Marco Island, Florida. Can't wait to see you guys. So, preparation. What does it look like? I have learned over the years of speaking in front of people, of doing a lot of calls, like, Zoom calls, coaching calls, this podcast 452 times. I've learned a few things about preparation. I have learned that the best way to deliver information is to do it with a format, with a structure, with a framework of what you want to talk about. You certainly don't want to just wing it I have done that before and it's worked out okay, but I definitely prefer to have a structure of what I'm going to talk about. And when I say a structure, I mean like a loose format of what I'm going to be talking about. So, like, for this show, before I start the show, there's a handful of bullet points that I either think about in my head or I write them down in my notes and I put it up on the screen here for me to follow. So if it's something that has like a definite couple of steps to it, I'll put that in a set of notes up on my screen so I make sure that I hit all of those bullet points. But the second part of what I do, I think, is the most important. And I think that this is the biggest lesson that I've learned delivering content, becoming a better speaker, becoming a better person to deliver information effectively to people, is that not over preparing is really the key, and really only speaking on things that you are an expert at, that you actually know what you're talking about, right? So this weekend in Marco Island, we're talking about things that I do every single day, right? So it doesn't require a massive amount of preparation. So I'll sit there and I'll go through my notes, but what I don't do is write down every single detail of what I'm going to talk about. I make sure that I have a format to guide me, right? Just bullet points of, what's important in each of these categories. But I don't over prepare, because the very best information, the very best transfer of knowledge that you can possibly have, it comes from what is absolutely in your mind. What is top of mind for you is always going to be the stuff that is most impactful to the audience, to the people that are following you, to the people who are learning from you. It is always going to be the most impactful of what comes to mind at that moment. So it's coming from the heart. It's coming from a place of raw emotion, raw thought. And those are the best lessons that you can learn and that you can deliver, are when they come from something that somebody knows like the back of their hand. And so for me, over the years, when I did episode 1 of Morning Perspective, man, I had a completely different perspective on preparation. I can tell you that. When I was preparing, I was writing out every single word of what I was going to say and how I was going to say it. And so what that ends up doing is it just sounds a little bit more formatted, right? It sounds less natural. It's not as easy to follow along. It's generally not as passionate, right? But if you just have a couple of bullet points, a guide that's going to push you in the right direction, then it's very easy for you to talk about the topic, because you shouldn't be talking about something that you're not an expert at. There's a lot of people out there, if you follow them and you pay attention, you'll probably figure this out, that read a book and then they regurgitate the information back to you. They have no real life experience talking to you about the things that they're talking to you about. It is more just information that's repeated from somewhere else. And so I only will speak on and agree to speak on things that I am extremely comfortable delivering the information, so that preparation doesn't take a significant amount of time, right? Now, when I am delivering new content, so if I did a talk, and I've done it a bunch of times, called Culture is King, right? About culture inside of companies, how you build it, how you maintain it, how you fix it if it's broken, and how you grow it if you're a new company. When I first did that talk, I did spend a decent amount of time frameworking that so that I could make sure that I deliver the best information. So in what order, how am I going to do it? What does that look like? So that type of preparation is definitely something that you want to do. And the easiest thing to do if you're going to be speaking in front of people is to create a few of those presentations, if you will, or talks that you give, that you can just do over and over and over again, or you can mix them up and switch them up for different shows, right? So I've spoken at so many different shows, but I can deliver a different message because I have a few that I'm really comfortable with. I can deliver those literally. If somebody asked me to do it in an hour, I could pull one of those up and be able to run with it within an hour. So the key to preparation, I think, is making sure that you're only speaking on things that you are extremely comfortable with, like that you could do it within 30 to 60 minutes of preparation. You can do it fast, right? If somebody asks you to do it, you can do it within an hour. And then the other part is creating a framework, but not really creating the details of what you're going to say. If there are some key quotes, some key stories, some key items that you want to make sure that you drive home, then certainly make sure that you write that stuff down. But otherwise, make sure that it comes from the heart. Make sure that it's something that you know very well, that you're an expert at, and that when you deliver it, it's coming from a place that is just top of mind, passion, knowledge, all the things that you need to be able to excite an audience, connect with an audience, and make sure that the transfer of knowledge is exciting enough for them to actually learn and then go back and implement. And so that is the goal. When we deliver content this weekend, it's been crafted. There have been people tapped that are experts in specific areas of business that are within our inner circle that will be taking part in this event, delivering some of the content with me, telling stories, telling experiences, giving testimonies of how some of the things that we teach at Top Contractor School have impacted them and their businesses or their families or their friends. It is key to craft that, but to not get too obsessive over exactly what's going to come out of your mouth. Because if you practice it too much, it just sounds rehearsed. Nobody will connect with it, and you will have far less impact when it comes to people implementing. Remember, when you're talking in front of people, there are two things that need to happen. The same things happen when a sales interaction happens. When a sales transaction actually occurs, there's two things that happen. These same things happen when you are delivering information. So the preparation should lead you to this. You should be able to convince people logically that what you're talking about makes sense. So it has to make sense that what you're saying can unlock a logical switch inside of somebody that they agree that what you're saying makes sense. So it's logical. The second part is that you have to connect with people emotionally. You have to be able to unlock the emotional switch within a person for them to actually believe that they should implement the information that you're talking about. And so if you can unlock both of those switches, if you can unlock the logical and emotional switch within someone, you will force them, without them even knowing it, to implement these strategies into their life. How do you do that? Well, exactly how I just told you. You deliver information that is meaningful, that comes from experience, that doesn't come from something you read in a book that you're regurgitating, that comes from experience, something that you have actually done. And when you do that in a logical fashion and you have passion behind what you're saying, people will actually listen, and they will naturally want to learn more and implement what it is that you're delivering. That is how I prepare. So those of you who will be there in person this weekend, you will see that. You will see the preparation, an outline of what we're going to talk about. Certainly, there's a lot of preparation that goes into that. But you will see me speaking from direct experience. I will be calling on people that are in the audience that have had the same exact actual experiences. And so that is the key. That is actually the key that unlocks it all, makes it believable, is that you have actually done it. So if you guys are thinking about how to prepare for something and you find it extremely difficult, it could be because you're not comfortable with the level of experience that you need to be able to deliver the content in that particular category. And so if that happens to you, I would encourage you that regardless of the opportunity that's in front of you and how big you think it might be for you to be able to say yes to that, I would encourage you to say no to the opportunity, because you are far better off to say no and stay in your lane of what you are an expert about than you are to speak on and deliver content that you are not experienced on, that you are not comfortable with, because people will figure you out. So I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to think about what those categories are for you. And if there's categories that you want to speak on that you're not knowledgeable enough yet, well, you have the opportunity to fix that by real world experience, by actually just dialing into books, dialing into people that you can talk to and get experiences from. Put yourself in those scenarios to get that experience and then feel more comfortable actually delivering that type of content. So that's all I got for this morning, guys. I'm headed to the airport. For some of you, I will see you in a few days. The rest of you, I will see you tomorrow morning. I hope. Hotels are always sketchy, man. It depends on the internet connection. It depends on all kinds of things. But I hope to see you guys tomorrow morning. Same place, same time, right here on Morning Perspective. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Look forward to seeing the rest of you down in Marco Island, Florida.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.